Hello guys, I'm Captain Joey and I'm the creator of the SWIPUT API, and in this video I want to give you guys a walkthrough on how to use the API. So the SWIPUT API is a cross-platform solution to swiping in Unity. The idea is to write a single code, you understand, while developing your project, and my API actually undo the cross-platform porting, like the swiping on your touch devices and as well as your PC, your standalone devices. Anyway, so let me just give you guys like an introduction to what the SWIPUT API is, and then we'll move into the examples I've set up to just give you guys a brief on how to use the API properly in your projects. So the SWIPUT API is like a solution I came up with while working on my project as regards solving swiping problems. The idea is to get a mathematical way of solving these swipe problems, you understand, as opposed to the popular one we have there, whereby we define axis, you understand. We have the popular solution to swiping in Unity is to define axis 8 or 4, that kind of stuff. But I've created what swipe API is just a mathematical way of having this continuous value, so you don't really need to have a definite or a defined axis or direction in which you're swiping. And the idea again is to emulate your normal input, like your directional input. Now your input dot gets axis, horizontal, vertical, whereby you get a non-zero value when you're doing an action, when you're giving an action based on that axis itself. So with that being said, you guys will get to understand it more as we are moving to the examples now. So this is the first examples now. The first example I have set up, the lottery wheel. So this is like, I'm just going to give you like a use case of where this could be very, very necessary in your project. I don't know the kind of game you're making, but I've just made here a more generic example of how you can use this in your project now. So this is a circle I've set up. I'm not really much of an artist, so I just had to do a lot of nesting of already made sprite, that kind of stuff, the primitive sprite and things in the color to just get this. So this is basically just a circle now, and the idea is that we want to get this effect of spinning, whereby you swipe down to spin, that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys have played some mobile games and seen that effect as maybe like a power up, that kind of stuff. So I already have a script in this circle here, and I'm going to move into it. This is the script just spin. So I just want to show you how to use the API and just talk on some of the method exposed there. So first of all, the first thing to do, we know this is definitely the object is a rigid body object, so we need to we need like a reference. I'm sorry guys, a reference to the rigid body components. We just create ROB, and we need like a public flow to control the movement also. So let's call it spin speed. Sorry, spin speed. So let's call it that. So let's say something like 10. All right. So the first thing you need to do when you download the assets, the project, I'm gonna have a link in the description, is to, if you want to use those methods I have available now, is to first of all call these libraries, and you have to use this using method here, this using stuff I've written here. So you have to type this into your code. This using this is a namespace. Actually, I've said that the whole API is running under. So the using SWIPUT API, you need to include that namespace so that you can have access to this simple SWIPUT. Then you want to click on that, so you see all these functions now, this status function that you have access to. So but in this project that we're going to be working on using the vertical axis. So you want to check the verticality of your swipe. So using vertical axis, you understand, we can set a swipe length. Since I already have a default length, I'm just going to talk about what the swipe length is, but let's just move forward. So what I like to do is, because since this is like an API, so we just have to catch because this is a static method, so you have to catch your you have to catch your whatever logic you want to, like whatever logic that this particular function is going to be doing. So you catch it. Let's call it now the let's say, I'm sorry, I'm very bad at naming. Spin axis, let's call it spin axis. Alright, cool. So now in order to achieve that spinning, we need this rigid body component of that circle itself. Then we call the add torque method. So rigid body dot add torque. We're going to be adding this using this spin axis, then multiplying it by our spin speed. As simple as that. So let's move into the project, the editor, and let's let it. This is it here. Compiling takes a while because my system is not really high specs. So, oh my god. All right, it should be done by now. And yeah, man, it's really too slow today. So this is the scripts. All right, so it's loaded already. So I'm going to plug in the rigid body components on it. There's really nothing I have going. It's just simple setup, like the default setup. There's nothing else I did. And now we already have our spin speed to be 10. All right, so we save and we play. So I'm gonna make it max the mic. All right, so I can choose to swipe. You can see now I can swipe this way and I get it, and I get it rolling. Let me increase the spin speed to something like 50. All right, play again, make it more realistic, use more force with less work. Right, so I'm going to swipe it now. You can see getting much more better. Let's swipe it. So I can stay at any position. I can also swipe, let's say, you can see that if I'm swiping close to diagonally, it doesn't really give me that high speed. But if I'm swiping particularly vertically, like you understand now, giving a more vertical swipe, I get that maximum speed. And diagonally, and if I'm taking it horizontally, I don't get any swipe at all. You can see I ain't getting no swipe, and it goes on that way. And also I can swipe back, understand? So but you can see that I can position I can just put it anywhere and still keep on swiping, understand, to just maintain the same axis. But there is also a useful function now that I have written, that is you can set a particular area, you can designate a particular area in which you want swipe to happen, understand? So it may be useful for you now. So you can just maybe create a particular location, like a particular maybe real estate on your screen, and you want only swipe to happen if and only if maybe your pointer or maybe your touch or your mouse is within that area. So that is what I'm going to be doing next with the next function we have available. So but in order to achieve that, we need a new we need to get access to, we need to create what they call a rect transform. A rect transform. So we'll call it let's say the right rect, understand? So right rect. You can also create another one, the rect transform. We'll call it a left rect. All right. So I'm going to be cleaning up this function, and I'm using a different function. So the function I want to use is get vertical, still on the vertical axis. So get vertical axis in rect transform. You're going to be seeing how this makes sense more. So I'm going to be using the right. So the right rect, first of all, since we already have that already preset for us, we don't need to enter the swipe length. Then create another spin again, another axis, spin axis. You can call this spin axis opposites, or yeah, opposites. Makes sense. You will see what I'm trying to achieve now. Then call the same method, get axis in rect transform. Then now you put in that left rect. Alright, now so you can now add another torque. Just copy this, and now we'll call this instead. Then maybe make this the negative. Alright, so let's move back into the project and let it compile. So while it's compiling, let me just give like guys a brief explanation of what it is I'm trying to achieve here. So like I said, there is a method in the project, in the API, that is whereby you can swipe within an area. Like swipe can only be activated within an area, so you can set an area, so which is what I've used as a rect transform. Alright, so I'm gonna be tapping into the same mode here. I'm gonna be creating a rect transform. It's gonna be making sense. Let me just go on and let you guys see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna be creating an image. Alright, so we can use to define an area on screen. Obviously, want to change our canvas. Want to change this to scale with screen size, right? Then this image, now we can call it. Let's call it the right rect. Right. So let's set it well. So want to increase this position. Please you guys just be patient with me. I'm gonna see how this is gonna play nicely. Increase the position. Alright. Then maybe give it a tint, call it red, then reduce the opacity. Increase the opacity actually, and reduce your opaqueness. Then we can duplicate this and just put a minus here to take it to the and call this the I named this the rect thread. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be the right, then not double T, and this will be the left. Right, so this now we can change the tint color to green. So we already have our rect transform set up. Then we're just going to be feeding it into where we have it set. So right goes in right and left goes in left. Now let's play, and you see what I mean. So now I'm going to swipe on this right part. You can see I'm getting that while swiping down, vertically down, I'm getting that clockwise movement. Understand? Now I'm going to try the same thing over here, swiping down, and see. You can see. And the idea is that I can only produce a swipe within this space, this rect transform. But if I'm outside there, now you can see there's no swipe happening. I'm outside here, there's no swipe happening, there's nothing happening until I get in this area. So I can take that area, I can move it anywhere on the screen, that kind of stuff. So you can define an area where you want swipe to happen and whatever axis to which you want to swipe in that area. So that is the usefulness of that function. So guys, with all what we've done so far, or what you've seen so far, and the great thing about the SWIPUT API is that in your code now, in your project, you don't need to worry about defining specific cases. Perhaps when you're going to be on mobile, now doing those preprocessor commands, and now using the Unity mobile tools, that kind of stuff. So the touch functions now, those things, the input dot get touch and everything. You don't need to be doing that again. What you just need to focus on is just focus on the logic of what you want to achieve. And as you have seen, everything you've seen so far that has worked on your editor would also work on your mobile, those mobile device, iOS or Android, with just this simple function. So that is actually the great thing about the SWIPUT API. You don't need to worry about those other things. Just work on your logic. You understand? Work on your particular logic, and whatever you get on your editor is what you will see on your mobile.
So right guys, so this is the app currently running on the mobile phone. The same app we built on our editor is currently running on the mobile phone, and with that single implementation, just that implementation we wrote, is what I switched over here to the touch input. So just like I explained to you now, with the SWIPUT API, you don't need to worry about certain use cases, maybe whether you be on mobile or whether you're on a PC. You don't need to worry about that. Just use the API and focus on your logic on the editor, and whatever runs on the editor, just like as we set, that is swiping, what happens within a rect transform, would be what will run on your mobile phone, as you have seen here.
Right. This is actually the end of the video. You guys should just read the documentation I have. Everything's going to be available on. I'm going to be posting the link to the GitHub where you can download the API and start using in your project. I'm going to have a documentation, well scripted documentation of how everything works in it there. So that is basically just the introduction on how you can use. There are many other functions here that that are intuitive, you understand? So that is the idea, and that is SWIPUT for you guys, the SWIPUT API. Well, thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel and leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you're gonna be really using this API in your project. Please just leave a like and share with your friends too. All right, thank you very much.